What's that thing he likes to say?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all know what it is. We are live in the building, and we got Seth Rollins talking to Paul Heyman, and there is nobody stopping Seth Rollins from. What was that? What was that? He just threw in his face. See him? Seth Rollins is trying to get a reaction up out of somebody, and we're about to find out. Oh, oh, and a smack, ladies and gentlemen. He just smacked. Seth Rollins is just accepting the hate. He's accepting that hate because there's two people that could come to this ring right now. Ooh, look at Paul Heyman getting testy. We like it. We like it. Let's get testy. Paul Heyman. Oh, 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 oh. Who music hit? I didn't even catch it. Of course, because Roman comes next week. Paul Heyman, CM Punk. Here we go. But no Roman. We said Roman will be here next week on Raw. So the heavy lifting has to get done by somebody, ladies and gentlemen. And CM Punk is there to answer the call. Oh, knocking over the prime bottles. Let's go. Let's fight. Let's throw these hands. Let's throw these hands. This is what we want to see. I would have liked to seen a little more physicality to Paul Heyman from Rollins, but I'm gonna get to that in a minute of the why. Oh, they're letting them fight. Where's the refs? Where's the refs? Where's Jordan? What's my man? Where Kurt Angle's son at? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay, let him fight. What's a curb stomp? Is Punk going for the curb stomp? Is it rolls in the ring? I need more physicality than this. I spoke too soon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. Because CM Punk just got CM Punk just got curb stomped. Now that leaves Paul Heyman at the mercy of Seth Rollins. Let's what are we? Yeah. Paul Heyman moved. Paul Heyman looked like Paul Heyman's the best actor on the roster. Now you owe me a favor. Holy shit. Holy shit. Hey, there's a reason this is in the main event. Let's be clear. There's nothing it's not even close. If you want to try to hit me with the intangibles and the fallacies and la, cool. But I don't care who won the Royal Rumble. I don't care who won the Elimination Chamber. There's a reason why this has to be one of the main events of your nights. It's one that has the biggest amount of star power in it. But secondly, with that being said, what a way to end Raw. No Roman, but we got Seth Rollins out here talking about now you owe me a favor. A purposely not oh, hold up. I'm in the wrong view. What up? What up? What up? What up?
See what's going on, man.
Raj in the building. You get a chance to catch the end?
Yeah, looks like everybody has a favor getting old now.
Everybody got a favorite. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, they used to say, give him an inch, they take a mile. Seth Rollins just put his Nikes on. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Vinny, what's good? Polo, what's good? Love to see y'all in the chat. Absolutely love to have you. If you're just tapping in, we got some stuff to talk about. Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman. Titles on the line now. We had 2 title matches tonight. You know what I'm saying? And we got some new matches going into Mania. WrestleMania is next week. We are in the season. You know, this is the season for giving, and curb stomps are giving out. Spears are being given out. You know what I'm saying? Unfiltered promos apparently have been given out. You know, uh, so yeah. Um, where do we want? I mean, we could just start at the end.
That's where I want
CM
to
Punk.
start.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. CM Punk getting curbs. Maybe I shouldn't ask the question, or maybe I should just ask your opinion. Is there a double cross or a triple cross, I guess this could be said, in the works coming from Paul Heyman?
After this promo, I think the chances are a lot higher we get a double cross.
Think so. I think me and Archie had this conversation. Archie told me he couldn't see it. Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman. Seth don't need him. I don't think it's about a need or a necessity. I think it's about what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Yeah.
Paul Heyman, you know, Mankind double crossing Paul Bearer. I'm lying to you. Taker getting double crossed by Paul Bearer for Mankind did a lot at that time, right? You put eyes on the product. It had people couldn't believe it. X, Y, and Z. Salute also on Instagram, Mogul Motivated. We see you in the chat. Just wanted to say appreciate the content. Definitely would like to get on with y'all one time. Hey, brother, there's only one way. Tap in. You know what I'm saying? You never know when we got guns blazing, we might just ping on you and you might get your number called. Just be if you what they say, if you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. You know,
In
so you never
fact,
know. We might ping one of y'all. Uh Mankind Paul Bearer, that turn with the urn, and then over time they went back to Paul Bearer with Undertaker. You know what I mean? Just like, okay, you know. So I feel like you could do it with Seth Rollins, see what the crowd feels. Let's see how it works.
yeah. And then
You
the
got
thing with
two.
Seth is he's not. If they do the turn, it's not because he needs Paul. Seth is trying to destroy everything Roman's got. He's trying to destroy everything Punk has, and you do that with Paul.
You do that with Paul. The story that writes itself. Um, we've seen. I think last week was a key too on SmackDown when we got the favor. Because why was Seth Rollins even on SmackDown just to hear the favor? He knew it had nothing to do with him. It has to do directly with Roman. And when Seth Rollins listed off the times that people have gotten the best of Roman Reigns, both times he said on mic, on air, on SmackDown, he said the WrestleMania cash in that he did on him. And then he said last year, basically screwing you with the chair shot, making you want to go after me instead of Cody, and then Cody ended up getting the win. Like, I have screwed you twice. Now, what's going to be this year? Well, technically speaking, you're not going to be able to screw him, right? Because this has the favor has nothing to do with you. Or does it? What? Not only is this perfect for Seth to get back at Roman, Seth hates Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
I mean, he hates CM Punk. So, your best friend, your wise man, rolling with me, screwing you both. Oh, I can hear it in my head now.
It's almost inevitable at this point how it's being put together in our minds right now.
I want to see it. I mean, maybe it doesn't happen. Maybe I'm shooting for the stars on this. But golly, too sad.
And he is the architect, so it does make sense why he was out there. He was studying everything. Like, how can I spin this?
How can I spin this? And now he says, now you owe me a favor because he didn't curb stomp him. He had him dead to rights. And then can we
And
get Paul Heyman an
he had
Oscar?
the boots on. He wasn't even wearing sneakers. He could have really ended him.
I need Seth Rollins to come out some Timbs. You be coming out and all this wild shit, boondockers, uh, everything but Timbs, Skechers, whatever. Women's heels and all type of, you know what I'm saying? I just need Polo salute. Yes, brother. Cheers for the one time. Everybody, hey, everybody salute to the Paul Heyman acting job. He is always the key. When Solo, remember that one time he told CM Punk, he was like, can I ask you one thing? Take me with you. Like he was scared as hell. And he just had that lick of fear. The only time I seen that much fear on somebody was Rick in The Walking Dead. Rick thought he was a badass. He finally met Negan in the woods. And, and that fear, whatever they did to Andrew Lincoln to have him look like that is what they do to Paul Heyman to have Paul Heyman's look sells everything. Mastermind.
Yeah, he was also saying, remember before he left the bloodline, before he got hit by the table by Solo and Fatu and Tama, when he was like crying and everything, his eyes was red. He had even said he did not sleep for 3 days straight just to have that look on his face be more organic.
Yeah, and this is why I say, like, with managers, right? I've said this before, but I don't really emphasize. But when you look into history, certain managers, like Sensational Sherry had a thing of success where she went at one point. So when they put her with Shawn Michaels, when he broke up from the Rocker, was because they wanted to associate him to a winner. And because of his persona, a female, an attractive female at that. So all things work. Your manager has to do the selling for you. Your manager is the exclamation point / the highlighter to the words. And if your manager, Paul Heyman, this might be a different conversation, but he might be the greatest manager in history.
Oh, I agree. If not, definitely, I don't know how you don't have him in your top 2, top 3.
It's hard to get him out of that. Like if you say, oh, he's in the top 10, I don't know where, but he's not in the top 5. I'm gonna look at you kind of crazy.
No,
Because you're gonna have to hit me with Captain Lou Albano. You're gonna have to hit me with, there's no one you can hit me with. Jim Cornette, Slick. There's nobody, Theodore Long. There's nobody you can tell me. Brock, CM Punk's, Roman Reigns. He was the manager for all 3 of those. I don't care what else happened at that. You'd be like, oh, Paul Bear. Cool. He managed one guy. Got him a couple chips. Okay. He's up there. But he ain't up there. He ain't up there. Jim Cornette to me is up there. Because Jim Cornette was a heel manager. So his guys will always be the guy to kind of lose. But shout out to Paul Heyman, man. He is a true mastermind. Like, man, Seth Rollins was looking like throwback. Yo, Paul Bearer used to have me in my room like shook. You know what I'm saying? Not even the Undertaker, Paul Bearer. Because imagine you being in your crib making popcorn one night, you think you heard something, all of a sudden you, oh yeah. Like, what the fuck was that? That's worse than, you know what I'm saying? So, but definitely shout out to Paul Heyman, everything he's done. Who do you have right now, based off promos and what you saw, winning Mania? Triple threat.
A part of me, well, before this promo, I had Punk
Paul
going
Bearer
into
also
it.
managed LA Knight too. That's wild.
He did? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, Percy. Yeah, yeah.
Before this
And he wasn't
promo,
doing like the Paul Bearer shit. He wasn't like Mario. No, like he wasn't doing that. He was talking like a normal human.
but
bad.
yeah, no, you're good. Before this promo, I had Punk winning this. Now I wouldn't be surprised if Rollins wins.
Interesting take. I'm with you, brother. I'm with you. I think Rollins needs to win the most.
I think so.
He needs it. CM Punk coming off an MVP 2024. Roman come off a 4-year championship run, 3.5 years for it. Rollins needs something to solidify him. He came off an injury after, you know what I'm saying, a pretty good 2024, but always in the shadows of Roman Reigns due to the fact they were champions at the same time. Bang! Oh, hold on. Try that again. Bang! There it is.
Just
You ain't
running
got
late,
one of them
man.
Seth probably itchy jackets?
Come on, baby.
What is that, velvet?
Oh,
Hey, you gotta hit it with that. What is that, velvet?
hey, you know, yeah, you know, had to throw it on. Got a little chilly after that cold Jey Uso promo. Look, I was running late, man. The studio session running late. New album on the way, by the way. Boo Saga's on the way, and yeah. So, but yo, ISO on me real quick, HP.
That's on you in
I got a
3,
special
2,
message for you
1.
from President Jordy Pujols, Pro Wrestling 225. He said, you need to be at one of these events this year. You got called out. I actually got a video of it. So just letting you know, I'm delivering a message that you need to show up to one of these events. Because Maj, why you laughing? You need to show up too. And I want to shout out to Pro Wrestling 225 because this week in Durham, 225 Mania was off the chain. And look, you got to watch the next episode of Pro Wrestling 225 Unleashed because Simon Phillips, Wes Warren, and Braxton Hunter tore Denham Springs down. Some of the best wrestling going on in the world right now is Pro Wrestling 225. Like I just had to say that real quick. I'm still recovering from the weekend, running late from the studio, catching up on Raw, but I'm here. Just had to deliver that message real quick, HP. For the president himself called you out.
The president himself.
Hey.
I'm gonna take him up on that offer, brother. Because you know what, I can't be called out and not, you know what I'm saying, and not show.
You missed the Super Gold
And they have a
Rumble.
phenomenal.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, it's all good.
They got a phenomenal organization down there too, so it's not like I'm going into, you know what I'm saying, the bad light.
This weekend was crazy.
Good stuff.
Weekend was crazy, bro. Weekend was crazy. Go Maj, man. If you ever want to take a trip to the South and get, you know what I'm saying, get up close and personal to some things, you're more than welcome to, brother. But what y'all was talking about, man, just had to butt in the conversation with that real quick.
Oh, Seth Rollins, right? So tonight, Paul Heyman was about to explain, I'm loyal to Roman, I'm loyal to CM Punk, it's my best friend, I'm his wise man. And Seth Rollins, like, I'm not playing that. You know what I'm saying? You do all this, you can't play both sides. And let me tell you something. You want to talk about Roman, but when Roman got beat for that title, where was he at? And he left you at the mercy of Solo, the mercy of Jacob Fatu. When they put you through that table in front of your kids, where was Roman? Okay, that's your man's. 2, CM Punk. You talking about CM Punk saved the war game. CM Punk was not the number 1 option. I was. Stop me when I'm lying. And Paul Heyman couldn't do it. He was like, you know what I'm saying? Because they did go to Seth Rollins first. And he was like, and your man, yeah, facts. Fact. We actually thought it was going to be Seth Rollins as the 5th member. And it was like, no. After Seth Rollins like continuously told them no, it was like, dang. You know what I'm saying? We thought they were gonna make a KO, Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, NWO type trio.
You
that
think
was like,
it's smoke and mirrors? You think Seth just trying to throw us off the trail because you said Heyman and Seth would be a good pair?
Yeah, and that's where we started. I was like, yo, the writing's on the wall. I hate Roman. To take everything away from Roman, I take your wise man. And I hate Punk. And I took your best friend. Remember what Adrian Broner told Paulie Malignaggi when he beat him? I took your belt and your girl.
Took your girl. You know? Damn, Paulie. Damn. Girl.
And it didn't help that when Heyman started his promo, he said, I'll always be loyal to Roman, and I'll always be loyal to my friend Punk. So you kind of made it clear, like, you're the trophy for both of them. Seth gets you, you hurt both of them.
Seth ends up smacking Paulie, pushing him around. CM Punk comes out. Bang, they get the brawl.
It's just good to see Paul Heyman, bro. Like, he's somebody that every time he's on the TV, you just want to see Paul Heyman, bro.
You know, this is the thing I hate. We talk. Well, I've said it where I talk about sometimes the Hall of Fame is like fugazi with the the entrance. Sometimes I sometimes don't ever want to say that because when you have people in the Hall of Fame like Booker T and Paul Heyman, you know what I'm saying? It's I don't ever want to discredit them. And I watch the work that Paul does on a weekly, just on camera. We don't even know what he's doing behind the scenes. Jesus
he's working.
Christ.
He's working behind the scenes.
They say working with Braun Breaker and all. Like, he...
Speaking of Booker T.
Salute this, Eric.
Swerve Strickland. I know this is Monday Night Raw recap.
We
talk wrestling over here.
Hold on, goddammit.
We're going to talk about that? Okay.
Oh, we going to talk about it. We got to talk. Let's add to our podcast, baby. Booker T has been on this very podcast, and so has Swerve Strickland been on this very podcast. We have an interview with Swerve Strickland, and we have a hot tag with Booker T. Check it out. Are we all caught up? Are we all caught up with this story?
Hey, I'm going to just say this first. What are you saying fuck me for?
So at the, Booker T and Swerve Strickland had a back and forth going on. And when the recent AEW show went off the air, Swerve Strickland was doing what wrestlers do, dressing the crowd, talking that talk. And the last thing he said was, fuck Booker T. Yeah. What do we think is going on with this thing right now? And was Swerve out of line and out of pocket?
Gamaj, you first.
I think he was out of line to do that publicly like that after the show. I think he should have addressed him to his face or behind the scenes. That was not necessary.
That's the Queens and Gamaj right there, everybody.
No, that's the Brooklyn, man.
Queens,
Brooklyn, my bad. Like New York. I got the boroughs wrong. My bad. That's Brooklyn.
I say this. I thought what Swerve said initially on Vlad had some validity. However, because you're addressing other wrestlers to a guy who is, I 100% agree with Booker, Vlad is known for extorting the black community. That's all he does. That's all Vlad is here for. You know what I'm saying? You go on Vlad TV, you ain't here to talk about what's going on with the tariffs, Trump, Elon, none of that. It's straight up what's going on in the black community. We've seen indictments come out of Vlad. I'll say it like that. So, Booker T addressed it. It should have been dead. Like, damn, maybe I was out of pocket. Booker T. Also, I think you got to respect your elders too, man. I don't think Booker T said nothing crazy. I think Booker T was hurt because you try to throw him under the bus with where was all that energy when Vince McMahon called you nigga on T? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it wasn't for people like Booker T, a lot of black people wouldn't even been in the game. Or even getting shots to this day. Because remember, Booker got a league. Let me take this off the ISO. But I would. Oh yeah. We got
yeah. You know what I'm saying? Look,
I wouldn't say F Booker T. That's all I'm saying.
I think both of them were right in what they said. I think both of them were wrong what they said up until this point because that's their experience, right? I've said it numerous times on this show. Booker T is one of the few people I have a different level of respect for in wrestling because he's earned everything he's gotten. Nothing was given to Booker T. And he made lemonade out of the lemons he was given, but so did Swerve Strickland because he left and he bet on himself. We have had personal conversations with another member of Hit Row who kind of confirmed some things to us about Swerve Strickland. I won't go into details. You can do the math. But I think he was playing to the crowd and kind of said something that he probably really didn't mean, but he's standing in it. And this thing is a thing about pride and ego often comes before a fall. So, hey, that's all I got to say on it. But yeah, check out our interviews with both of them right here on Azure Podcast. Back to Monday Night Raw.
back to Monday night, back to regular scheduled program. But
And
no,
we're gonna talk
that should have
about
been
it.
addressed.
Archie gonna
That
throw
should
the
have been addressed.
curveball into the conversation, so you might as well get ready to swing.
No, 100%. And that should be addressed too, because Booker T has done a lot of things on camera with his character that I don't approve of. He does some things that I thought were magnificent. But when
Booker
you
T's
go,
a company man. He's always said he's a company man, so he's going to side with the company. So
he's going to side with the company, but he's also going to try to make it better for those behind him too.
you know who
He's
did that
definitely
a
given.
lot, and I believe it was Dusty Rhodes who said Junkyard Dog would never get the credit he deserves, because I believe it was Dusty. He said the things Junkyard Dog did behind the scenes for people would never know, but he would never get the credit for the advancement in wrestling, people's careers, people's pushes. He would never get that. And I'm pretty sure Booker T had to stand in front of some bullets for people today.
Like,
because even Godfather on this podcast, check out our Godfather interview, said he didn't go to WCW because of the advice Ron Simmons gave him about the racism in the company and him being called certain things. So yeah, and again, you talk about exploiting black people. Guess what? Wrestling does too. But it's just one of those things, yeah. But I've been preaching the past 2 podcasts. I don't like it. Am I turning face?
Archie,
no face. I don't know about no face, Archie. Now we the heels over here.
Man, it's Mania season. Anything that can happen, man.
But I don't got anything else on the Seth Rollins thing. Paul Heyman, we could definitely come back to Paul Heyman because his legendary.
If you were CM Punk, HP, if you were CM Punk, Gamaj, what would your favor have been? Chat. What would your favor have been that you asking of Paul Heyman?
Yeah,
I thought it would have been.
Go ahead.
You thought it was gonna have to do something with that world title picture, not at Mania, but when Roman gets his world title shot. Because Roman never used a rematch. I thought they would have just split on. I never got my rematch with Cody Rhodes. And you know what I'm saying? They'd be like, you know what? Roman never did. Boom. They give it to him. He gets a shot first. Punk turns into a triple threat. Or Punk gets the first shot. Cuts the line. I thought it was going to be something of that nature.
Gamaj?
Or screwing him in a title match with him. Like, Paul, my favor. What? Favor. And he turns on Roman.
You think something similar, like a title situation would have been David Gamaj?
Yeah, that's what I would have thought. Or like if Roman did become champion again, then the favor would have just been immediately after he gets it. He gets a shot right then and there, and he takes it. Because something like that similar happened with Batista.
Kind of like a cash-in type deal.
Yeah, because Batista did that with Vince. I don't remember what year, and this is when he took the belt from Cena that way after an Elimination Chamber win. After Cena won that, Vince was like, Batista did a favor for me. He's cashing in on that now. And Batista took the belt from him in like, what, a minute?
Yeah. Yeah, it just made the most sense.
Wow.
He's going to walk me. You're a wise man. Me down the aisle. It was cool, though, for shock value, but it was kind of like to change a little subjects, we got some new matches at Mania. Just announced today, Fatal 4-Way for the Intercontinental Championship. Braun Breaker versus Finn Balor versus Penta versus Dominic Mysterio. 2 members of Judgment Day are in it.
Penta's in it. Back to last week real quick and tell you what I hated.
Go ahead, good brother.
Why is Penta being pinned on national TV on a Monday Night Raw? Penta took the pin last week in the tag match.
Yeah.
Why? Why? Because in the eyes of the public, you lost a match, right? But that shouldn't have been Penta.
I mean, you can't make it Braun. Well, granted, I don't think they should have lost that match to begin with.
I don't even think they should have had that on Raw because it was announced as a championship match that week, wasn't it? And
Very weird. But I
then it
got Finn
turned.
Balor winning this WrestleMania. I got him probably beating Dominic Mysterio. I could see Finn pinning Dominic Mysterio to win the Intercontinental Champion, and that be his out of the Judgment Day.
See, I still think Braun's gonna retain, but the reason I feel that way is because the moment Braun drops that belt, I'm gonna want him to chase after the world title.
Too early. Can't do it.
I think
He'll
it's
get
too
crushed.
early for Braun. I think Braun's popular, but he's not over, if that makes sense. He's very
feel like
popular,
this.
but I don't think he's over to the point where he would move the needle. I do think he would make a good world champion, though. But maybe like
I think
HP said, not right now.
Not right now. I look back at the days of the mid 90s for these champions. Once you become a multiple time Intercontinental champion, it feels like every time you challenge for that belt, you're winning it, and you could just hold it for as long. It's like, okay, he's ready for the next level. The crowd likes him. He does decent promo, good promo, and his match. That's where we need to get back to, because I'm about to talk about another title, same Intercontinental Championship, different gender, and it's totally different over there. And the girls had a good match tonight. Bailey and
Lyra got some pop tonight.
Yo, that was what I say. That was the best
match.
Lyra looked as champion.
100%.
She got some pop. The crowd was into it. They singing the song. It's a slow burn.
Hey,
she's in a crock pot. She's in a crock pot.
Let me tell you something. What they do with those women, I don't want to say this. I'll say this. They are mistreating and mishandling those women. Lyra Valkyrie, after winning the Intercontinental title, was directly put into an elimination chamber match. She shouldn't even be trying to win another title. I just did this. Let me defend. Who's next to? You don't hear people talk about, I want my title shot. And no, girl, I want mine. Or nah, dude, I'm coming for you. There is none of. No one
Only
cares
person
about
did
titles.
that was Rhea Ripley.
And we need more of that, because then it makes the titles worth something. Braun tonight, and I had to get to this because we've seen it in the chat, and I definitely want to talk about it. How hard are the motherfucking spear? Did Paul Heyman start telling him, leave your feet 7 feet back? Your spear is the most dominant, and I think he's got the best looking spear in the WWE, bar none. Not even close.
Oh, you saying WWE? Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Roman might have to give his up. Jey Uso should have been gave his shit up. We'll get to that in a moment. But Braun Breaker's spear looks like it fucks people up. He hit Penta with some shit.
It does.
Yeah.
It doesn't just look like it hurt. It does.
It showed in the Royal Rumble when he did his spear. Roman did his spear. I thought Braun's looked better.
Yeah. Everybody should stop spearing and leave it to Braun, because Braun's spear. If people say we're gonna do a countdown of the best spears, Braun is getting better at his spear. ISO speed was just the beginning. He hit Carlito. That shit like,
we didn't like him, but Goldberg's spear was decent.
Oh yeah,
Goldberg had a good spear
because he wrapped you up like it was damn near a tackle.
Goldberg sometimes snap people back, and then when that happens,
whiplash.
It just, that whiplash, exactly.
I like Bobby's because Bobby would do the front flip roll kind of thing. That was a little stylish. Rhino had the gore, of course, so you know.
I don't think Rhino's spear. I think he'd be in the top 5, but I don't think it's as powerful as Braun's. I don't.
No, Braun.
I just watched tonight.
Nobody hits the rope or is as explosive as Braun Breaker is in wrestling right now.
I want to say this. Shout out to the cameraman who caught that shot, because it looked like he pulled a Superman towards Carlito with that from that shot, man.
Ed's spear was mid. And anybody 186 pounds, and they mark them up as 220. Whenever you see small, thin wrestlers, they say 220, they're not 220. That's a markup. But yeah.
I mean, I even checked out the chat, man. Shout out to Miss Awesome Saucy, Mike, Polo, Bub, Frank, the whole gang in here, man. Vinny, shout out to the whole Editor Podcast crew.
I just think Braun, Give him 2 or 3 more title runs in the next year and a half.
Which
And
titles?
then
2 or 3 more intercontinental runs?
Yeah. Because here's why I say this, right? Shawn Michaels, how many championships intercontinental ICs? 3. Brett had 2 distinct runs. Ravishing Rick Rude, Mr. Perfect. If you want your name with those guys, you just can't get 2 little quick runs and then run off to the
You
world
heard what
title.
you
And then
said? Distinct. Nothing is really moving like that these days in the world of wrestling. A lot of, like you just said, the women are in trouble. A lot of these titles, they don't stick and stay, bro. These reigns, they don't stick and stay. We just mentioned Bayley. Bayley had a terrible run. Her last run was not good. No, I'm just saying, in general, we talk about the current champion. We talk about his run.
Yo, they talked about Bailey so politely bad tonight. They was like, Bailey hasn't had a win since.
They talk about Bayley like she was James Ellsworth.
Damn.
And then Bailey loses tonight to the IC champion, who they brought up the fact that she beat her in the Elimination Chamber tournament.
And she raised her hand and did the walk away clap thing. And I think this was them trying to get Bayley to get Lyra over. And like, this is the best she's looked. And the crowd popped a little. So
I don't think it's to get her over. They got a tag match on Friday for the championship, which is another dumb thing. Why is your Intercontinental, who barely got 2 or 3 defenses, now she's just jumping into the world Intercontinental, the tag title picture? You ain't got no. You just throwing teams together, but whatever. Cool. I ain't get. It is what it is. I think they're gonna try to use Bailey to turn on Lyra and get Lyra a rivalry. And because Bailey's a former world champion, she's a legitimate contender. They had a great match tonight. You can get 2 or 3 matches from this. Maybe Bailey does upset her for the belt and hold it for 2 months.
Polo says, does Breaker stay on Raw after the draft or go to SmackDown with Gunther? Bro, I don't even know if the draft means anything anymore because they got the transfer portal. And this transfer portal thing going on in college is ridiculous.
I'll say this. If he's still IC champion, then he'll get drafted. If he still has it, he's staying on Raw.
I think keep Braun Breaker on Raw. Don't send him to SmackDown. Raw has the most eyes. It has the most volume of eyes, too. Like, SmackDown can't, even if SmackDown beats you in the ratings, it can't compete. More people can watch Netflix than can watch USA Network. Braun Breaker, if he's going to be your next guy, Netflix that's where you want to put anyone you're grooming. Some people like Ray Phoenix, keep him on SmackDown because you need somebody to keep that up. So you got Ray Phoenix over there, you got Cody Rhodes over there, you got cool. And then when you finally get your Penta Ray Phoenix match, through the roof. Because you've been holding them apart on different coasts for so long. Then when they get in the ring, they're gonna be like, we used to be brothers. We're not brothers no more. And you know what I mean? And they're gonna do their thing. I don't know if he talked like that, but in my head, that's how that shit sound. Send Braun to the unemployment line? Yo, you ass.
Unemployment?
I got who?
She even threw like
oh
emo,
man, man, she came. What? What Braun do to you?
She came with hate and discontent.
She came in hot.
If you got hate on your heart, let it out.
Let it out. I promise you'll sleep better.
We do have another question. We're talking about Intercontinental titles. On this night, I was just giving Bayley some shit because they said she hadn't won in a while, but they had a great fucking match, I thought. Her and Lyra took the pin. I didn't like this. I thought this was dumb wrestling. I mean, obviously they knew this was, but the ending with the walking away and then going back, I was cool with that. But Bayley's got this girl in the Boston Crab, pulling her from the ropes, keeps doing it, and then she like lets her go because she's like, you know what? She'll never submit. That you'll pass out in this bitch. Remember how Brett did Stone Cold?
That is one of the greatest finishes in wrestling history, if not the greatest. I remember watching that as a kid, like Stone Cold passed out. Like that was
you, Daddy,
shocking at the moment. One of the greatest finishes, one of the best matches ever.
Yeah. It is. And I just thought that was dumb and then Lyra popping up and rolling her up. Cool. It was a cool finish.
I just don't like when wrestlers don't sell. Like, if somebody's bending you backwards like that, you're not going to be in a position to roll somebody up and hold them down long enough for to get a pin using your lower extremities from abs down to legs, and you just was in a lion tamer. That's just wrestling logic. And I mean, I get it. Because it wasn't a schoolboy. Schoolboys are the quick pin, quick roll up. It was a sequence. And yeah, Bailey's in a weird position.
I think they're using her to build talent now, and I wouldn't mind seeing Bailey with an Intercontinental title run. Something small, crazy, not too crazy. Couple victories, but she beats Lyra.
She's probably the best person you could put that on right now.
You say who?
No, Bailey's probably the best person you could put that on right now to help build that belt.
Is Bailey a Hall of Famer?
Yes. I don't like where her career is going right now, but yes. Yes, she's done the work. She's definitely done the work. I actually feel like she's in a Randy Orton because I feel like the women, they're treating her like an old wrestler. They're treating her like a legacy Bailey, and then but she's losing all her big matches, all of them. She was world champion, nobody cared.
She's turning into Natalia.
If Bailey's Hall of Famer, are all the 4 horsewomen Hall of Famers?
Yes.
Well, we know Rebecca Quinn is. They love Rebecca Quinn. Charlotte Flair, hands down. I think the only 2 in question would be Mercedes and Bailey.
Yeah, chill out, bro.
What?
They love Rebecca Quinn.
They love Rebecca Quinn. I'm just saying they do.
So why you calling her by her government like that? Like,
give me that Becky. Because that's her name.
That just threw me off. Like Rebecca Quinn. Like,
he didn't want to call
because she's
her
an author now, and she sells books, and those books say Rebecca Quinn. It's like Dwayne Johnson. I can't refer to him as The Rock anymore. He's Dwayne Johnson.
The Rock needs to stay the fuck out of wrestling.
Damn, straight up.
Yes, stop. You're not gonna. There's talk about you're not gonna be at Mania. They haven't mentioned.
We knew that. I told y'all that months ago.
But now it's like it's so evident that The Rock just shows up randomly, does some dumb shit. Now they're like, yo, we gotta try to make this all make sense. No, don't come
you said
back.
Rock like a Scooby-Doo villain. I would have got away with it. It wasn't for you meddling wrestling fans. It's The Rock under the mask.
But that's like I am now convinced. Like when I seen that, even though it's not confirmed, but we haven't heard shit about The Rock and the soul shit in weeks. Before that, it was Bad Blood. It was 1, 2, 3. What the fuck is all this random shit?
Yeah, Rock is.
You out here drinking Terramana on TV with Cody, talking about we made up after you don't whip this man and talked about his dad.
Does The Rock have a boss in the WWE or TKO?
No,
I don't believe so.
So he just can kind of do what he want to do.
Yeah. All we know is that he's just in part of the board.
He's a head board, but they can vote him out.
And he owns majority of the stock, right?
Or he's the majority, like
stockholder, right? Yeah, so he's the man.
I don't even know if he has all the stock. I just know as far as the board is concerned, like
he probably has most of the stock compared to.
So he's equivalent to what Vince was.
I mean, for all intents and purposes, yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, but the difference is he could be voted out. And he's just fucking up storylines. Does The Rock go to the bar, or does The Rock sit at the head of the table? And there's nothing happening with that shit. And now it's like, well, we could do it another minute. No, fuck you. Don't come. Not fuck you. But, like, don't come back, bro.
All right, Swerve Strickland.
I didn't mean it like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, just don't give us this half-ass you're around once in a blue.
So here's the real question. Chat. 3 Live Crew. Do we get Rock Roman ever? I don't think we ever get this match.
I'm gonna be real. I don't think it happens.
I don't think it happens now either. Now I'm like,
once I saw The Rock with the gray beard, and it hit me that the year 2000 was 25 years ago. I don't think it's happening.
Yeah. Every year you get older, you're not getting younger. It took him a lot to do WrestleMania.
With Roman's absence, I mentioned this last pod. That line for Roman's career end might have been moved up a lot closer due to what he has on going outside of wrestling. Could be professional, could be health. We don't know. But Roman's not around a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Roman's not. And
so if we never get Rock Roman, is that one of the biggest dream matches we never got?
You said if we get it, is it?
If we don't get it, if we never get it.
No.
Is it up there with Austin, Hogan, Taker, Sting? No. Is it up there?
Me personally, I don't think so.
No.
Some will say, so in the moment, a lot of people will say yes, but I think like as time goes on, it'll be no.
I will say this. It would have been the greatest story dream match. Because Undertaker Sting has no storyline. It's just two guys, prospective companies. They both went dark. Well, one always kind of been dark within the WWE, and the other one turned to the Crow Sting. So we were like, "Yo, what if?" Right? Rock has storyline connected directly to Roman, so it would be storyline wise the biggest storyline dream match they could do. But as far as just overall Rock, Hogan, Austin, no storyline. It's just straight up the man of the 80s into the 90s versus the guy of the 90s into the 2000s.
But think about Rock Austin. Rock Hogan really wasn't a story other than dream match once in a lifetime.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Most of the dream matches have no storyline. It's just we want to see it. Oh my gosh, could you imagine Shawn Michaels versus AJ Styles? A storyline. We just would love to have seen it if we could ever, make that happen.
Sean said he got 1-2 more matches in him. I wouldn't be mad at that.
I wouldn't either. I just hope it don't turn out like that Dubai match with Triple H versus the Brothers of Destruction.
That's why I don't want Shawn to wrestle again because of that match.
Well, as a wrestler, you can't have your last match be questioned.
I agree. I agree with Archie.
Like I teach my son, you don't leave the gym until you make a shot. You gotta make a shot. That's just the unwritten rule. You gonna shoot till you make a shot, then you leave.
I mean, I just feel like his last match with Taker, that's when he should have stopped.
Who, Shawn?
I'm not mad at that either, though.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels gamed a lot of people, bro. They talk about that back injury. He could have wrestled, bro. He could have wrestled.
Mike Tyson 100%. Fought with a broke back. Mike Tyson said my back was broke.
Anybody who tells you differently, they'll argue. Shawn can argue on a WWE camera. Cool, right? There's a couple things that should be mentioned. One, Vince didn't want Shawn going anywhere because if Shawn would have went to WCW, could have been bad. So they paid that man.
I couldn't even imagine Shawn Michaels in WCW.
They would have dropped the ball with it. But at the time, WWE didn't need to lose no more stars. No. Second, the biggest thing I have to say to my actual motherfucking credit, that is a fucking fact. When people say, "No, bro, the motherfucker wrestled a match in the year 2000 in Texas Wrestling Alliance." There's a whole video. I got it screen recorded in my phone.
I saw something today, or was it yesterday? And I'm going to ask you, HP, because you're the Bret Hart historian here. We said Bret was responsible for DX. We said Bret was responsible for Attitude Era. We said Bret was responsible for the Vince McMahon character. I saw something that said Bret was responsible for starting NWO. Because during the match, he refused to take Kevin Nash's powerbomb. And that was one of the reasons Nash left, because he didn't, and that was part of the reason and it was saying Brett was responsible for that. So is that true? Have you heard that?
So yes, there's part of that that is definitely 100% true. So the match that they're referring to is the steel cage match in February of 1997. If you go back to 1997, before WrestleMania 13, uh, remember when Undertaker came out the ring? It was a steel cage match versus Brett. Pulled. No, this is going back into 2012. I'm sorry, not 2012. WrestleMania 12, 1996. So I'm
That's the
sorry.
match though, because they were showing the match. They're saying Brett
Yes,
refused to take the power bomb.
yes. So that's how Diesel wanted to end the match, even though Brett would have still won. Brett said it makes me look weak because it makes it feel like you're about to win, and that's how I won because of interference versus me not about to lose, you not about to lose, and we'll just have but Diesel needed that because he wasn't gonna get a win. He wanted to go into his match at WrestleMania 12 against The Undertaker looking strong.
Strong.
Taker wanted that too. And they all went to Vince about this. And somehow Vince sided with Brett. He ain't taking the power bomb. He ain't taking the power bomb. And so that match ends with Undertaker coming through the ring. They do WrestleMania 12. Then we get Shawn winning that belt, his first match, Good Friends, Better Enemies in 1996, the April pay-per-view, the first pay-per-view after. No DQ match, and then Diesel's gone.
Good old Bret Hart. The gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, so and you can look up all those dates. Good Friends, Better Enemies, one of my favorite
But shout out to Bret for starting the NWO and the Monday Night Wars.
Bret. When people talk about the greatest wrestler of all time, most impactful, Bret really is up there.
I didn't know that. I saw that,
Bret
I was like,
really is
that's
up
weird. There. But hey, Bret is attached to a lot of history.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the one that names DX and starts them because they were doing groups. Because Triple H was battling Mankind, Shawn was beefing with Undertaker, but he still had his beef with Bret, and they were doing all this stupid shit because Shawn didn't really want. No, he's all scared of Taker. So Triple H, they made a tag match with them, and then China, and then Shawn was like looking at China, and so Bret called them degenerates. You're a degenerate. I'm a degenerate. I'm most certainly degenerate. If you're a degenerate, you know what? Degeneration X. That's what we get. Bret forced them into that.
Damn, Bret started DX.
He was standing in the ring. He was literally standing in the ring when they did that. And he had
Bret started NWO. Bret started Mr. Vince McMahon character career. Shout out to Bret.
He really did that twice because that February Raw match where Bret loses the steel cage and he curses on Monday Night Raw and he calls out Vince right there, but Vince was a commentator. We didn't know. He was like, everyone in the goddamn dressing room knows he's like, you screw me. Everybody in that goddamn. And then Sid comes out with the world title, like, you whining ass cryberry, baby, shut your ass up. And they get to fighting. And because Vince tried to interview him, and he pushed Vince down on the ground and was like, you let all this goddamn injustice.
Bret was the most professional, unprofessional wrestler ever. Because he still did it. He did it, but it was still Canadian.
And when the screw job happens, Vince is right there, and he just.
Oh yeah, that was I would have had that. Yeah, me and Bret would have got it on right there.
He hit that man too.
We would have still been fighting 30 years later, like right now.
Hey, and Vince wiped that shit off on. He ain't even trying to sanitize his hands or nothing. He just wiped it off.
That ain't the first time Vince just wiped it off.
Oh man.
Yeah, Bret is low key. Flair, he's not in the caliber of Chamber, bro. He's not. He's definitely on the GOAT. You can put him on your Rushmore. There's not going to be an argument. But when it comes to he has a lot of impact in the 70s, though. Like, let's be clear. The
70s, Horsemen, 80s, up until midnight. Well, 97 when they kind of dismantled and Arn retired and all that,
Yeah, but even in AWO, when the NWO had that little ass title, and the AWO had the big title, and he was looking at Rick Martel's big ass title, like, God damn, that shit's cold as hell.
Now, as far as Mount Rushmore's, he may be on yours and may not. But when you do the
Ain't on mine.
wrestling rock star Mount Rushmore, Ric Flair is up there. Rock star.
Yeah.
Rock
He's not on my
star.
Rushmore, but when you say rock stars, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. Flair literally leads a generation and has some of the best promo work in
Limousine
history.
riding, jet flying. Yeah,
In history.
Flair. And no, Flair's kind of like he's in the Kobe Bryant thing for me. Like Kobe's my favorite player. But Kobe never led the league in the particular things the year. It was always like something off. But yeah, Flair, man.
Monster the Creator
Flair's a
World.
legend.
I didn't even peep you over here. Reigns Life 54. What up? What up? Monster the Creator World. What up, guys? Brett is great, but he didn't put people in seats.
Florida beat Houston. We got shout out to Florida Gators.
I would disagree with that. Brett didn't put people in seats. I don't think he put Hogan numbers in seats, but Wembley Stadium was sold on British Bulldog versus Bret the Hitman Hart, and they were Intercontinental Championships. And that was SummerSlam.
Well, you gotta think it was Wembley, UK. Brett was definitely more popping internationally, I would say.
International.
He was.
Canada, yes, he was the man. Around the world, the man. Japan, the man. But in America, I think he was a lot second fiddle to a lot of bigger stars. And like I said, the Flairs, the Flairs, even people like Honky Tonk Man and Jerry the King Lawler, like in the territories, those guys were gods. I mentioned the Von Erichs on my list. The Freebirds, like those guys were gods. They could do no wrong, and people packed out to see them. Yeah, the territories, but internationally, Bret Hart was the man. The only thing about Bret Hart I didn't like about his international run, he would be a heel in one country and a face in another. So
yeah, that was kind of weird. Also, don't trip. You saying he doesn't sell seats. Ric Flair gets hurt by the Ultimate Warrior, coincidentally, at house shows. That's how the title has to get dropped to Bret in the first place in 1992. Bret was seen by Vince at that point in 1992. Like, let's go, Bret.
Bret Hart was in a very John Cena-esque position. You giving this company to carry, and we don't know what we doing right now, but you're gonna be the face of whatever we doing. So,
and Bret Hart has headlined numerous WrestleManias from 9, 10, 12, and some may say 13.
And I think Bret became more popular because of who he was in the gimmick outside of wrestling. So all that combined, I mean, Bret Hart's a star, but
absolutely,
he was part of the reason the seats were filled. But I can see why you say where he wasn't the main sole reason. But
hey, don't forget this: we say
in
that
America, but outside of America,
Vince took that title off Undertaker because Undertaker was not putting ass in the seats. That's on record. So as much as people want to say, well, the Undertaker was this and that and this, good brother, they made Undertaker drop that to Stone Cold on Raw, not because he wasn't. Vince said, not drawing what we need.
Vinny, I hate the idea of it. It's a terrible idea. You shouldn't be putting moments in the Hall of Fame when you have people who still aren't in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
correct.
100%. Now, the people in the Hall of Fame are part of the moment. Absolutely. Talk about the moment. That's what the speech is for, right? That match I had with HP was my favorite. Y'all loved it. We loved it. And we could do it again 30 years later. Yeah, talk about the match. Give people the credit. But matches and moments, that's like saying a highlight in a game should go in the NBA Hall of Fame. Like, no, dog. Like, no. Yeah, let's not do that. But they're doing it. I think we're going to see a lot of things with this WrestleMania season that we've never seen before because financially, they might be in a little bit of a hole. Not as a company, because they got money. I'm saying this particular Vegas booking, it might have not worked in their favor financially because from what I understand, WrestleMania is still not sold out. You gotta donate blood, hair, and sell your car to get tickets. So it's a lot. So we're just seeing things. Like we see people popping up for meet and greets. We seeing moments like they're trying to entice and draw people because you shouldn't still be trying to draw for your WrestleMania 12 days from your WrestleMania. Should be sold out.
You see, they added matches. They added this. They
WrestleMania
also
normally sells out day one.
yeah. But also with TKO, man, TKO is known for jacking prices.
Yeah.
And now WWE is under that umbrella. So maybe it has something to do with Vegas, or maybe it was a little bit of the TKO, or maybe it was both.
Vinny, it's a whole list of people they could put in the Hall of Fame, bro. They're not running out of names. Yeah. They're not running out of names at all. It's some names they may not want to mention, but they ain't running out of names. It's not a shortage of names.
I mean, we still talking about
and
Sid.
Polo. I think Triple H. I don't know what Triple H's induction is going to do. He said, "Will it overshadow everybody else?" I don't know, bro. Because like I said, there's a big part of Triple H's career I don't know, because I tapped out of wrestling during the time of what's it called, the 2-man power crew, HB.
2-man, yeah.
Yeah, and then when Triple H had the weird mustache and he was like full of sodium and he was real thick. Like, I don't remember thick Triple H. I don't remember certain parts of his career. I don't remember. I was not part of it, so I don't know what his induction will do.
I don't think it can overshadow everyone else's, because one, in this same draft class, even though they like to try to they're downplaying it because you don't see the ads for it, Lex Luger is in here.
Lex Luger, fine. But the natural disasters were a big fucking deal.
They're not giving anyone else any run. They're just Triple H, and it's like, this is what the shit I hate. Everybody in WWE lives in the moment. They did this just recently with Stephanie McCure. She's the first double champion. No, she's not. And not in NXT. And y'all saying she's the first women's double. No, she's not. And y'all know this. But you try to rewrite your own history.
Shout out to Mandy
in
Rose.
real time. And that's what we're seeing. Triple H only showing Triple H's highlights. They ain't showed shit from Lex to the extent that they show Triple. Like, Lex Luger is a certified Hall of Famer who's finally getting his just due. But because he's in a wheelchair.
Honestly, if we being honest, Lex could have probably headlined.
He could have.
Yes. Yeah.
Lex Luger is a headlining superstar.
Yeah, yes. He could have.
So they're minimizing everybody else to.
And I thought Triple H would have gotten the Undertaker treatment where he just kind of did it himself.
You think Triple H is over? I don't want to say overrated. There's a big asterisk that's going to go next to Triple H for his entire career. How much is this because you dated the boss's daughter and married?
Oof.
We'll never know. There's no way to quantify it.
Hey,
because he stepped
up
to the plate.
I mean, I'm being honest. Even he knows he's gonna have to live with for the rest of his career. He's gonna have
to live with it. You dated the bosses. You dated, married, had children. You created a family. And it's great because they found love and they have a beautiful family. But there will always be that asterisk. All the wrestlers always say this about him that aren't cool with him. He makes a very good comment to Seth Rollins in a promo about, if you're not making enemies, you're not making success, and blah. And it's very true. But one of the things you did will always paint an asterisk on your career. How much of this did you earn versus how much was given? Now, that's not. Triple H rose to the occasion, though. He could have definitely been buried. He could have had years of bad matches. And Roman Reigns was forced on us like a motherfucker. He was like, damn,
Triple H showed up. My only asterisk next to Triple H's name would be the fact that not only did you rise to power, within that power, you still never acknowledged China. Ever. Like, never. That's my asterisk, because we know either whether it was what y'all did personally, I get it. I understand. But not acknowledging what this person did professionally and how big of a part she was in the rise of DX and all this other stuff, it's just bad, bro. China was like the first of her kind, and because of what happened personally, she don't get mentioned professionally, and that sucks.
I think the China thing is so because she went to a depression after that because Triple H did her dirty. He did what a lot of males do. Found something better. I'm a kind of ghoster. I'm kind of not gonna say nothing. I'm not really, you know what I'm saying? And that works in certain aspects, but because you're on a TV, entertainment, Hollywood kind of lifestyle, we get your life plays out in front of everybody. versus what we do in private. We could have did the same freaking thing to somebody, and no one sees it, right? So, but I do agree
Another
with you.
thing that
You gotta acknowledge.
another
I
thing
see
that kind of
something
makes
in the
that
chat. I'm going to
work.
cut you out, Gamaj.
Mm-hmm.
Does Lex mention Miss Elizabeth in his speech?
No, he stays clear of it.
He has to, right?
If I was him, I wouldn't.
I think I would.
But
Because
see, that's why I
too,
love what X-Pac did. X-Pac made sure during that DX induction, he mentioned China. So
X-Pac almost got sued for a promo. So if anyone's gonna say something that they shouldn't be, why not
hey,
X-Pac?
Hulk Hogan, you suck, pal. You was just on
But no,
Nitro. What are you doing?
it's funny. I think there's a higher likelihood
You
Lex
said Scott
Luger
Hall and
says
Kevin Nash
something
was being
about Miss
held
Elizabeth.
hostage.
I think there's a higher likelihood Lex Luger says something about Miss Elizabeth than Triple H says something about China. Because let's be clear, if Lex doesn't mention
Mike said he
Miss
think he
Elizabeth,
would, and Franklin said he should mention her. So we kind of split
well,
on
I,
that.
I don't know which side they're talking about because there's two men, each with a female. But here's
No,
my
Elizabeth.
kicker.
They both said Miss Elizabeth. So
Right. So on Lex, but here's my thing. If Lex doesn't mention Miss Elizabeth, I'm okay with that. She was never his on-screen personality, and we're talking about your on-screen going into Hall of Fame. If Triple H does not mention China, you're a dirtbag. Triple H, China is a large part of your
even
career.
if all he says is "Thank you, Joni. Thank you, China," that's enough.
It's enough. But if he doesn't mention her, I lose a couple points of respect, and I'm always have a thing where if Triple H is talking, the new HP Mad, I'm gonna find a point to always kind of like poke at Triple H because it's like, yo, you gotta respect, and I get, I get it. You don't want to open, but like everybody knows. We know she went to porn. We know you used to fuck. We know you fucked Stephanie. We know you married Stephanie. We know that's your lovely wife, and that is what you do. We're adults. I fucked my wife. That's how my kids got here. I don't tell my kids I fucked your mom, but eventually they'll figure it out. 2 and 2 equal 4.
Maybe we don't know how he's dealing with all that. That's another part of this. Like
Now, there's a mental health aspect too. That's fair. That's fair.
But like I said, that's the
But
asterisk for me and for
Mhm.
him too, because that's always attached to him and his career. That's why
there's
you
a lot
mention it
attached.
on your highest moment. You mention it and try to put it to rest. Make peace. Try to make peace with it.
Like I look at my military career, right? I did 23, but I was with my wife for 11. So if I do my retirement speech and don't mention my wife, it would look kind of ex-wife. It would look kind of strange in a sense. Like, well, who was helping? You know what I'm saying? Because like, oh, well, you're not. But she was with you for damn near half of your career, man. She got you through a lot. So although that didn't end in death, and as
Yo,
negatively
give
as
people their
that,
credit. Give people their
give
credit.
people their credit.
That's it.
Give people their
It,
credit.
it
That's what.
hurts you none giving people their credit. It hurts you zero. It doesn't hurt you at all saying, yo, this person helped me. Even if you don't rock with that person, this person was part of this. Yeah, give them hell. They let Barry Windham be part of the Horseman induction. We don't know why, but he was
You
there.
know, Polo and Mike. That's a good point, right? Mike says people in life fuck up, but she got them started in WWE. There is no Triple H without China, and vice versa.
DX
And that's a
either.
very true statement. That is a very true statement. Then his Polo's like, well, what if Stephanie says don't bring her up? That's
That's
your
what I
wife.
wanted. That's what I wanted to say because we
Well, like
can't.
you say, it's not like this was an outside thing. This was in the business.
Well, your wife, right? Your wife is like, don't do it. Like, I hate hearing about it. I hate the internet. How it's,
And
you know what
that's
I'm
what I
saying?
said. I mentioned it this time, and this should be the end of it. But either way, if he mentions her, Triple H mentions the China. If he doesn't, Triple H didn't mention China. I
Yeah.
was offended when Undertaker didn't really mention Mankind in his speech.
I don't think you needed to.
He 100% needed to.
No. Why mention Mankind and not Yokozuna? Who made the Undertaker more?
Hell, he mentioned Yoko too, but he just kind of said Mick's name one time. Dog, Mick gave you
They
the
gave you the
biggest
most
moment of your
viral
career.
moment of your career.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but that's one moment. Undertaker has lots of moments.
That's
he
the
does. But
biggest
that
moment.
moment to this day is the most replayed moment in WWE
The
history.
biggest. I got a Mick. You
Okay, let me
almost
ask you this.
died for this shit. Shout out to Mick
If
Foley.
let me ask you this: that memorable moment is memorable for who? More Mankind or more Taker?
Both.
To me,
You can't
both.
separate the two.
No. Pick one. Who is more remembered for that moment? Mankind taking that punishment or Taker administering the punishment?
Mankind.
Mankind.
But
So if I'm
it
Taker,
still
I got
is the
the
biggest moment
first
in Taker's
casket matches
career.
with Yoko.
That's the
I got
biggest moment in Taker's career.
It's one of them, and it probably
What's the
is the
bigger
biggest.
moment?
But it's not for Taker's career. A highlight of his isn't throwing somebody off a cell, and then because everyone's thinking about Mick. Everyone's like, "Damn, he's tough as fuck." No one highlights what anything the Undertaker did in that match.
He threw his ass off the cage.
He
That's
choked,
not a
and then he
highlight. It's
choke
like
slammed him right after.
Yeah, bro.
no
Taker.
one cares. Everyone just says, "Damn,
I'm
Mick
just
is tough."
saying,
Damn,
I was
Mankind
offended.
crazy.
I'm only
Man,
speaking for me. I didn't like that he didn't mention Taker. So if Triple H don't mention China, like you said, shame on him. Stephanie, we just gonna have to
I still
ride
want
on
to get back to
opposite
this
sides of
Taker
the coffin.
Mankind. I
Huh?
still gotta get. I don't think there's a need for that moment is more mixed than it is Taker's.
Yeah, but he mentioned lesser moments and lesser matches.
Because they did more for the Undertaker putting his hand through Undertaker having the pickup after the Yoko casket match where all them people came out and beat the shit out of him. Double J, Adam Bomb, all the mother
That's
they
like
was
when
beating the
Bret
shit
Hart
out of
was
him.
on here. He mentioned Shawn, right?
He did.
He didn't have to, but he still gave Shawn his props. Yo, that was the best. I loved working with him in the ring. Whatever he said. Go watch the interview with Bret Hart.
Yeah.
He gave Shawn props.
I don't think the Undertaker might have to give him. I mean, I see what you're saying in this aspect because it's like the biggest moment of my career, but it doesn't do anything for me. It didn't
Bro,
ascend me;
if
it
I'm a
ascended you.
quarterback and I throw the game-winning touchdown, I'm shouting at my offensive line, hey, this O-line gave me great pass protection. Yo, without them,
True. The offensive line doesn't go on Sports Center and go and do all these crazy things. It's the quarterback.
but I'm going to talk about them. That's just me.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll go with you on that. That's fair.
I just didn't.
Okay.
I just thought Mankind's a big part of the Undertaker story, though. He's a big part of that story. You got to think about the Boiler Room. With Paul Bearer's turn was with Mankind.
You're right.
Shoot, anytime Taker had a Hell in a Cell match, everybody was scared of face Taker because of the Mankind match.
So Mankind he added value to it. That's what I'm saying. So I just think he should have mentioned Mick a little more. That's all.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. I'll back down
Yeah,
on that, man.
and I don't know who
Fly.
says this. I'm gonna quote this, then we probably gonna get up out of here. Vinny, fuck a mention. She should be inducted. Yes. Yes, she
Absolutely.
100%.
Look, I'll say it again. I've said it then. I'll still say it to this day. If they still got Sunny in there while she's locked up in a cell and she did her adult activities too, why ain't China in there?
Bro, Hulk Hogan got a sex tape. Yeah, it's a lot of people who have sex tapes. It's a lot of people who,
if not a sex tape, some of them.
It's a lot of people who did sex work before coming to WWE. It's people who's done sex work while working for WWE. So that's not the reason.
Shout out Janelle Grant.
That's not the reason why she's not in the Hall of Fame. Sometimes we always say it's nothing personal, it's just business. This is a very personal thing. That's it. Get out your feelings, give people their credit. It hurts you none.
I think the WWE definitely. Paige got one. I don't know if she's coming back or not. I don't know.
Paige got more than one.
Paige.
They had to get a new title because of what Paige did with that title.
Yeah. She's like, that shouldn't have been leaked. You shouldn't have did that.
Done. And you did it with two people, and somebody had to hold the camera. You was wild. You was wilding. So,
But yeah, people got their baggage. That's all I'm gonna say.
bro,
You
and
know?
think about wrestling. The biggest redemption story in wrestling is probably Shawn Michaels, right? Shawn Michaels was a rock star. Shawn Michaels had abuse issues. Shawn Michaels turned his life around, found God. Shawn Michaels was a piece of shit to a lot of people. That's their opinion of him from dealing with him.
Yeah.
But you gave him grace and you allowed him to still work for the company and do things. People who have done lesser things than the people you've given forgiveness and grace to still gets your admiration. So be fair. You know what I'm saying? If LeBron could do the gun signal, let Ja Morant do the gun signal. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Charge them
Hey,
all.
Ja Morant, chill out. You're throwing it all away, brother.
Yeah, I think people got to understand when you pay for these at a certain price tag, you become a company man. Higher the price tag, the more the company and you're like, no, nobody owns
Hire
me.
the
I'll
socks
do it.
and handle
Okay.
the food.
That's why they start telling you, well, then you don't have to play here. Eventually, take your ball and go home. You either do what we tell you to do and make these millions of dollars to play basketball and stay fit, or go to the workforce.
What they told LeBron, shut up and dribble.
That
That's
shit was
crazy.
wild.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
She was like, I got a book called Shut Up and Dribble.
Somebody told you shut up and dribble.
That bitch.
In the words of the Kanye we did like, even in the bands, you still in a coupe. So
They should have never gave you money.
or cell phones,
You know,
I'm convinced. Or TikTok or Instagram.
I do think WrestleMania is going to be great. I also think WrestleMania is overcharged. I also think WrestleMania is.
I think this WrestleMania, we're gonna have mixed feelings and mixed emotions about it. And it's for me personally, it's way too many gimmick matches already. We got a 4-way, we got a 3-way, we got another 3-way.
2 3-ways.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff they're throwing at us. But we're gonna see. I think honestly, I'm feeling it's probably at the end of the night, I'm be like, yo, that was a 6 or 7.
I think I'm gonna be right in that lineup. I think there's gonna be a match that steals the show. I'm not sure which one. If I had to put money on it, I don't like the triple threat thing, but I think Seth Rollins with Roman is always gonna be magic. Adding CM Punk, but I don't.
You're right.
I,
You're right.
I think that, and I also lean towards Rhea, Bianca, and Io Sky.
I don't like how they treat Io, bro.
I don't like how they're doing Io.
They make her look super weak.
Yeah.
They got Io looking bad, bro.
Yeah. That's why I think she's gonna win it, but I just don't like how they're making her look.
I agree with that statement because they're always.
And is Bianca a heel now? Like, what's going on with Bianca Belair?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like because when there was in the international, she was getting booed like crazy.
She's dressed in all black. She cutting people. She's kind of back to her NXT ways.
I like that though.
So
me too.
Speaking of NXT, tomorrow night that triple 3-man tag is gonna be crazy. That's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, with
Dark State, Oba, Trick, and Javon.
No, I don't like Dark State, and I love Dark State.
Hey,
you dress them like the Shield, but I don't know how else you'll dress them. I mean, just take that shit off and give them different ones.
You ever
see those purge masks? You ever seen those purge masks that like have a pumpkin, like the orange line of a Tron, and it like lights up? Give them something like that or something. You know what I mean? But don't give them the exact same thing as the Shield.
That's why I call them Shield 2.0. I don't even call them by their regular name.
I call them Great Value Shield. They look like Captain America's shield. Remember after Thanos was and motherfucker looked at his shit, this shit was broke. I didn't even know they could do that shit. He cinched that shit back on his arm.
America's shit is supposed to break. It's made of vibranium.
Yo, Thanos broke that shit. He had metal.
John was probably adamantium. It could break it.
Damn.
Yeah.
You know why HP knows that? Because he has a channel called Hall Preezy Universe, and he talks about all that stuff over there on Hall Preezy, man. I think it's about time for us to get up out of here. Monday Night Raw was pretty solid. We 12 days away from WrestleMania, which means we are about 9-10 days away from Wale Mania. And that man Gamage, he's gonna be in the building with the homie DNA at Wale Mania. And you know, Gamage said, if you see him at WrestleMania World, hey, stop by, take a flick it up, because he is always Kodak ready. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna be in Vegas. I got some other traveling to do. I'll be on the East Coast this week, taking care of some things, got some shows and all that coming up. Follow me on Instagram and I'll fill you in with all the details. New album on the way, by the way. So yeah, you got anything, HP, before we get up out of here?
Nah, good brother.
Yo, what you smiling for, man? You know, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. We've had enough talk about sex tapes tonight. I don't want to
know. No. It's always money with me. If you see me start smiling, it's usually
you making money at 12 o'clock at night?
Absolutely.
Hey,
absolutely.
Money don't sleep. The stock market's down though. We got a lot going on.
Yo, we could talk options. We could talk about plays.
Tariffs
talk about them
crazy.
Hey, I'm gonna say it like this: when the stock market is down, everybody knows how to do the stock market. They just don't put it.
You know what's going to happen? I think honestly, and with all the stuff going on with tariffs, DI, healthcare programs, stuff getting taken away, we're going to have a baby boom in about 5 years.
The planet is having less babies.
I think because of all this stuff, is going to be a boom. And yeah, so I won't be part of that boom. I'm telling you that. I'm not
being part of that boom.
I'm not.
I gotta secure my account.
Gamad's gonna be booming, you know, because that's Mr. AVM right
there. Don't be out here reckless, brother.
I ain't one of them.
That's AVN. That's Brooklyn. But yeah, we about to get up out of here. We will be back Friday night, right, HP?
Yes, sir.
Shout out to the regulars, the Mid Southwest, the Hills in the building. And we'll be back Friday for the SmackDown recap live during the main event. Hey, SmackDown should be pretty good. Then after that, it's only one more week to Mania, baby. We doing anything for Mania week, HP? We'll talk about it off there. I think we doing something.
Yeah, we got to though. I feel like we do got to. I think
we doing something. So shout out to you. Hope this week is good to you and good for you. Like always, hit me up on Instagram at @TheArchieCarter. If you say HP hit a parlay. Shout out to the Mid Southwest. Shout out to the Hill. Shout out to my guy Polo. Yo, big shout out to Polo, man. I be chilling at the crib. Now I get either like a DM or text, and Polo be sending me like real positive messages and just some real inspirational things, man. Shout out to Polo for linking with me. Shout out to Frank. Frank be hitting me up with ideas and suggestions. So shout out to Frank. Vinny's been like a day one since A1 day one. Vinny, Miss Awesome Saucy, and the Bug, Daddy Hunter, the originals. I'm gonna start calling y'all the originals. Cause you know who you are. You one of the originals because y'all been rocking with us. Y'all the OG fans. And if you new, welcome to the channel.
You know what? I don't even like that. We're gonna Wolfpack NWO this shit.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna start. We're gonna have Team Archie, Team Jerry. We're gonna make tiers. Fuck all this. Oof. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have to get tiers. We might have to have a Gamage tier. We might have to have an HP tier. And my tier, we gonna get mad. We gonna get crunk about shit. Cause
we didn't make you mad tonight. I'm very disappointed in myself. Well, we horsed
started going that way with here. Huh? Somebody was saying something. It started to because Vinny put in the chat. And actually, when I saw it, I said, I gotta chill. They ain't gonna get me tonight. Like in my brain when I saw it. So I was like, HP man, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't let him, So I'm trying to think what we were talking about. But I started. I will start it,
man. But yeah, man, we do appreciate y'all tuning in. We getting back into the flow of the lives. We know y'all missed the lives. We missed y'all too. The energy is different.
A viewer draft?
Huh?
A viewer draft?
A viewer draft? That'll be fire.
I want to do it.
That'll be fire.
Bet.
That'll be fire.
Let's do it. Day after WrestleMania. Give us some time. Matter of fact,
a viewer draft. That's crazy.
A viewer draft.
That's crazy. So what we need to do over the next few weeks is compile names of the viewers who want to be drafted. And then we figure out what we do from there. So I like that.
We talking about. So wait, hold on. Because I did this. This gets interesting.
Y'all getting a live look
take-
into our group chats right now. This is how it starts. One idea leads to another idea. Me and HP.
I'm definitely that. This shit. Okay, so you want to do superstars with your team, or you talking about?
I don't know. We're gonna have to figure it out. But I've never seen a podcast or any media outlet do a draft with the viewers and watchers. So we got to put it together. First, we got to ask HR. Can we do this? Gamaj, can we do this?
Hey, that. Fuck. Oh shit. I forgot. Gamaj.
We already went over our time. We're gonna have to pay a fine. You know how when artists rap past 11 o'clock, I'm gonna pay the fine.
So
what The Rock said, you think you could just stop this shit because the camera blows? No.
We can get 10 people up here. So if we could do a round robin,
bring them on the show.
Yeah, I feel like we're gonna.
I think we have to do rounds and do so many people per round. That's how we compile a team. So one recap, we'll do this many. Next recap, do the next. Because getting them all on the screen at once that'd be crazy. If they want to be on the screen, first of all, they might not want to be on the screen.
Or we could do war games. Archie, you pick your 4, I'll pick 4. You know what I'm saying? We might have to do Gamaj as like a, you know what I'm saying, moderator type of deal. And you know what I'm saying? And we go to war with trick questions, boom, boom, boom. Who superstars won tonight? We gonna pick, and maybe our draft is 2 teams, 2 shows. We're the yeah, we'll
figure it out. We will figure it out. And me and HP will probably talk about it. Yeah. Vinny said he better go round 1. Oh man.
Yeah. Hey, we about to change the whole pod. Hey, we ain't taking this shit to HR.
We start the more people get involved. Draft. Oh man. We done started something here.
It gets difficult because of schedules and shit, but we keep it to within this. We can guarantee.
Yeah, Vinny, you actually might be no disrespect to nobody, but like a number 1 pick. Just because of your tenure alone, you've been rocking with us from day 1. So
day one.
Yeah, Vinny, you know. Yeah. Vinny said I put in work for this shit. But then, you know, my man is Polo and Frank and Miss Awesome Saucy's also day 1.
Miss Awesome Saucy, just Eric who be stopping by.
That's 1 2 right there. You know,
Ms.
Mike is strong, but Mike kind of new to this. Mike is kind of new, but Mike is still a strong pick.
I know one thing. If I see Zell pop up, I already know I got Archie's arch nemesis, boy.
That's cool. That's all good, baby. I don't got no arch nemesis. I just got people who love me and people who love me more.
Yo, we gonna come up with some
That's
rules.
Fine.
We gonna come up with a little format.
Yeah, I know, man. Damn, if I don't get you, it ain't me. It's just the draft order.
Hey, let's all link because I know we all got we follow each other. Let's link on a little call. We could all do an Instagram thing. We'll exchange numbers. We put that shit on a call, and we could make a whole thing rules and what would be best. And boom, we could.
But let us talk about it first, then we'll bring it to them when we have a clearer idea.
HR might shut us down, y'all.
Yeah, HR might shut us down. He already looking at his watch. He about to pull the plug on this shit. He gonna say y'all got to go 30 minutes less Friday because y'all went 30 minutes over today. So this Friday recap gonna be 17 minutes. Nah, man, it's all good, man. We like kicking it with y'all our people. We do this because we enjoy it, but we do it because y'all enjoy it too. We about to get up out of here because we got to get up in the morning, and I hope you know you do too. So again, hope this week is good to you and good for you. Me and HP probably gonna be talking about this draft immediately tomorrow in the morning. Because we kind of obsessive like that. And we want to give y'all something for giving us something, which is your time, which is the most valuable thing you have, and y'all show up for us. So we're going to show up for y'all. And we will be back Friday night during the main event of SmackDown for the SmackDown recap. Might be the 3 Live crew. Z the Dropout might pop up. DNA might pop up. Shout out to DNA. He just had his Raising Canaan viewing party. He got a part on the latest episode of Raising Canaan. So shout out to the big homie for doing that. And Gamaj,
We've been busy.
all of them gonna be in Vegas. So we'll let y'all know about that Friday. But until then, we will see y'all. That is Gamaj at the bottom. That's King HP. I am the Archie Carter. This is Attitude Era Podcast. See y'all Friday. You heard? I need the #1 pick though.